Hello there everybody and welcome to the video. Before we get started, I wanted to say a huge thank you for 1k subs. We finally did it. Now we're going to march on to the 1.5 or to 1.1 or whatever the fuck is next. I don't really know. So yeah. My monetization is also in progress. Creator code is not because Epic is having problems with their creator code applications. So unfortunately don't use code fluffles yet because it is not a valid code. Yeah, and except from that, you guys should join my Discord because it's Pog, for one thing. We have cool emotes. We have the Peepo blanket, which is best emote ever. And we have mystery decal emotes, which is also really cool. So you should hop in there, come and chat with me, and yeah, I might be doing a giveaway soon. Get posted for that. But except from that, we're going to move right into the video with 5 Pro NA designs. Hope you enjoy. Pro players are at the pinnacle of competitive play. They are fully focused, no distractions, so you would think that their cars would be all the same, right? So like dark, no decal, black tires, or maybe repping their esports teams with the cool esports logos. Well, that is the case mostly. I'd say maybe 99%, but yeah. But not all of them are that boring. So I'm going to show you guys some North American pro designs that caught my eye while watching RLCS and the grid streams in the last few weeks. Hope you enjoy, and let's get on with it. Choose me. Choose me. So I need to choose me. Right, so our first design is a Kronovi car. Now this is really interesting because I saw this during the RLCS and the grid streams. He was using a different design than this one, and I'll show you those color variants in a second. But as I was researching this video, I came across these colors. These are the updated colors, so if you really want to stay on track. I mean, he's probably using different colors by now because this video is, I've been in the making of this video for a few days now, so could have been that it changed, but hey, this is the last stand that I saw it on. So we're going to be using a normal octane. We're going to be using the luster decal, which is the Twitch Prime decal, and this is actually the reason why this design caught my eye, because I was like, huh, what decal is that? That looks pretty cool. And it was actually the luster decal, which I had disregarded as it came out because I thought it was pretty cool, but I couldn't really make any cars work with it. But I was like, hey, I'm going to include it in this episode, so yeah. So we're using like a dark green on the primary. I guess it's like a, I don't know, like a matte, like dark mint, I guess, because it's like this, but it's like it's like a turquoise, like a dark turquoise, I don't know. Anyway, we're using a white secondary, so you have that nice white stripe fluctuating past the car. Now I did not see his red side because for those of you who don't know, the RLCS teams always get decided based on their colors. So Rogue, being an obviously blue logo, is going to be on blue team a lot of the time, so that's why you don't see the red logo as much, seeing as Cloud9 aren't in the RLCS anymore. They're like one of the only teams that have like a blue logo, so yeah. Didn't see the red side, but I used this dark, like wine colored almost, primary, which is like a dark pink, and I used the white secondary, so this is my kind of creation. And yeah, so for the wheels we're using Cristianos. We're going to see these a lot because a lot of pros are like using Cristianos and not black wheels for some reason. I don't know, maybe it's just an EU thing that we use black wheels, and maybe the NA boys just all use Cristianos, but hey, that's just how it is. For the boost, we're using Alpha Boost, which obviously a lot of people don't have because it's like £4,000 or dollars or euros or wherever you are. So yeah, you can use sparkles for this, you can use standard yellow for this as well, that also looks similar. So, or any kind of boost you really want. For the trail, we're using just the classic. This will also be on a lot of pros designs. A lot of pros just use classic trail because if the boost doesn't match, then the trail doesn't match, so they don't care anyway. Also, the classic trail is actually one of the trails I think that you can see most when you're going supersonic, so I don't know. Also, it just looks cool. Gold Explosion, I'm not sure, so I just used a splash, and yes, this is the first design. Now, the color variation that Kronovi also uses is like a darker blue, and then instead of a white stripe, he uses like an orange one. So this is maybe the other design that you've seen, and then you just change the secondary on the other side as well to an orange. Now I do prefer this one a lot more, because if you do play with it and you do use the alpha boost or another kind of orange boost, then it matches, and it actually looks really, really nice because it looks like the energy is flowing over the car and coming out the back of the boost. So yeah, this is the first design, the Kronovi car. So for our second design, we're gonna have an old friend, Jstn. Yes, I do a lot of Jstn car design videos, but to be honest, the reason is that he is the pro that changes his car the most, and also who has like the most unique designs. I've seen a lot of pros, like people want me to do pro videos, and like, hey, why don't you do pro videos, or like, I don't know, like, oh, do pro player videos, but a lot of pro players just use their esports decals or just a really super dark plain octane or a super dark plain car, so it's not really like good to do it. Like, for example, KDOP only uses the Renault Vitality decal and that's it. So basically a car design video for KDOP would just look like 3 car variants with different wheels and painted octane or no painted octane with the Renault Vitality decal, so that would be kind of boring. So yeah, we have a Jstn car design, which is a Stormwatch design, which kind of surprised me because not a lot of people use Stormwatch nowadays. But hey, this is another reason to grab it because it's super cheap. I got this one for 500 credits. And yeah, so let's just jump into the car. So we have a non-painted octane. We have a Stormwatch mystery decal, which is very, very cool. Then we have like a darker pink on the primary. I tried to match this primary as close as I could. I'm not sure if he uses this dark of a variant or if it's one brighter. So just go with whatever you prefer. That's kind of what I would think. I do think he uses a brighter one though, because he likes using brighter car designs most of the time. And as a secondary, we just have a black secondary, so that is pretty cool. Now because he's on NRG does swap a lot, but usually they're put on red side, so this is the blue side that I created to it, which is like a similar kind of tone, but in blue and just with a black secondary. As wheels we have Cristiano's as always, and we have a alpha boost as the boost. As I said, use standard yellow. Also with this car you can use like a black standard, which would also work really, really well. Yeah, for the boost we have a classic trail. For the trail we have a classic trail. And as God Explosion, if you want to use Jstn's car, then he uses black Radrock usually, or a titanium white atomizer, which is what he's been using lately, like for example with the Shisa car. So anything like that is probably a good bet. So this next design is a bit weird, but it kind of fits to the player who it belongs to. This is a Turbopolsa car design. Now, I was looking at a couple of replays from like the last weeks of RLCS and also the grid and everything like that. And I was like, no pro has cool car designs, like they're all just boring and they're all just like, the same. And then I saw one game, I think it was Envy versus G2. I'm not sure if he did use this car beforehand, but that was just like the replay that I was watching. And I looked at this car and I was like, what the hell is this car? There's so much going on that's just like totally unorthodox, you know? So I thought, hey, you know what? This is a really cool design, so I'm going to feature it. Fun fact, I actually bought a Cobalt Obtruse for this, so yeah. So for the design, we're using a unpainted octane. For the decal, we're using a Cobalt Obtruse decal, which is pretty weird, but it does look pretty cool. For the colours, we are using a dark green anodized and a grey glossy. I think you can also do this anodized. I don't really see much of a difference. But yeah. So for the red side, this is the red side I created. So because it was dark green on one side, I wanted to do it dark red on the other because I think it looks nice with the cobalt. So we have a dark red anodized and the grey glossy as the secondary, just like on the green side. But this isn't where the weirdness stops, because for the wheels we have titanium white zombies, which it doesn't sound very weird, but nowadays it's pretty weird to see people just not use Cristianos or black wheels. Like titanium white zombies are still pretty like, oh, okay, those are white zombies, you know? So I mean, they're not like anything major like these wheels, for example, but they're still pretty surprising for pros to use. I know they used to use this a lot back in the day, but hey, now they've gone out of fashion, so Turbo's bringing it back, which is pretty cool. For the boost, we're using Alpha Boost again. Yay, I might as well just not include this section anymore. And for the trail, guess what? We're using Classic Trail. Woo! If I were to give any recommendations, you could use like a Cobalt boost to fit with the Cobalt Obtruse that's on both sides. Or if you want a boost, you can use Standard Blue, for example. Also, I like this design with the Cobalt Octane. So maybe I'm gonna do an obtruse design like this in the future, but yeah. For now, that is Turbo's design, and let's move on to the next one. So for the next car, we have one for all you Space Station gaming fans out there. We have an Arsenal Fennec design. So also for you Fennec fans out there. Wow! Fluffles isn't doing an Octane design, what is this? Yeah, I know, I actually found a Fennec design I like, that's kind of weird. So yeah, this is the Fennec that Arsenal uses. I think it's pretty cool because it kind of reminds me of like Dapper's cars. Where you have like the brown primary and like funky secondaries, so that's kind of why I picked it to feature in this episode. So yeah, let's just get into it. We have a non-painted Fennec as the body. For the decals we have a orange painted yaw bands. So orange painted yaw bands, orange painted yaw bands. Cool. For the colors we have a like a light brown as the secondary. As a primary, sorry, I can't speak today. So we have a brown as a primary that is in matte, and we have a sky blue secondary which is anodized. So that's like a shiny little finish on the secondary paint, and I really like it because with the orange yaw bands and the sky blue secondary, it makes like a white in the middle, so that's pretty cool. So it's like a really nice flashy thing. And because I could not find any streams or anything, because to be honest I didn't really, I kind of want to create some other designs for these cars, so you know, I made this, which is a bit brighter than the other car. Also because Space Station is also a team that's always on orange because their logo and everything is very orange, so yep. So I made it with like a light green, or like a mint green, and then I used like a rosé kind of color to complement the orange and the mint green, so it's kind of like an ice cream car, I guess. That's kind of what it looks like. If you don't like this, you can also go for like a darker color, so for like more of this color like we saw with the Kronovi car, or maybe like a purple, you know, that can also work really well. And then with like a red secondary, which is really cool. This is similar to a car that I featured on one of my budget episodes, so just feel free to like mess around with the combos, like with the different colors. So like this is also like a really nice combination, but if you don't really want to do that, you can also just kind of use the same colors that I used on the other side. So yeah, so for this side we have a matte and an anodized as well. For the wheels we have a Cristianos again, and 100 points going towards anyone who can guess the boost. If you guess Alpha Boost, you're correct. And another 100 points to anyone who can guess the trail. Big surprise, it's a classic trail. So yeah, pros pros aren't creative with their boosts and trails. I don't know. Maybe they just... I mean, to be honest, if I had Alpha Boost, I'd use it all the time anyway. But if I couldn't sell it, because if I had it, I'd sell it. Yeah. So, awesome. So that's an Arsenal design, and let's get on with our final design of the episode. Oh yes, so I did not clickbait you. I said it's 5 pro NA pro designs. I didn't say they had to be from different pro players, from 5 different ones. So we have another Jstn one. Yay! Yay, Jstn Pog. But really, can you blame me? Like, this is probably the most unique, or the most like out there car design I've seen in the last few weeks. I've just been staring at basic cars for hours on end trying to find good designs. Oh, the disappointment whenever I upload it. Like, whenever I watch one of the VODs of like one of the matches and I just see standard octanes everywhere in Fennec, I'm just like, oh, now I have to find a different game. So disappointing. Anyway, so this is a Tigress Jstn design. I think this one's pretty cool because the Tigress designs that I did in the past were very, yeah, I don't know. Like, they were very like multicolored, so I think this is a really cool take on the Tigress. Like, it's basically just a dark primary with a light secondary, which is kind of cool. But it's not a light secondary, it's a light painted. But yeah, let's get into it. So we have a Octane unpainted, we have a Sky Blue Tigress on the blue side, and this is the red side I created, which is just a dark red with a crimson painted Tigress, which is pretty cool. I tried to just keep with the theme that he had going on here, so that's just what I wanted to keep there. So for the primary, we have a dark with a black, and we have a dark with a black as well on the red side. For the wheels, we have Cristiano's once again, and we have a Alpha Boost. Yay! Also, what you can do to this, you can use Sky Blue Boost, you can use a Blue Boost, and on the other side you can use a Crimson Boost, which I've got equipped here. So anything like that is really good. For the trail, we have a classic trail. What you can also use though, like before, you can use, for example, a Crimson trail on the red side and a Sky Blue trail on the other side. So for example, I have here a Sky Blue Friction and a Ruckus, which is basically just a Crimson Friction. And yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed watching this. Let me know if this kind of format, if you enjoyed it. And yeah, I'll see you guys later, and peace!